Let's move on to markets in Kenya, checking in on the performance on that end for the day. And we have seen some profit taking in the past few days. And that, of course, is what we're seeing filtering through once again today with the NSE 20 dropping back by 0.6% to 4,902 points. The all-share index also shedding some points there on the day, closing at just above 119 points. On the day, we had the likes of William Odhiambo, which declined by 3.7%. And interesting movements coming through also from Standard Chartered. That stock on the losing end of the market, closing the day at around 300 shillings. And of course, we know that stock has certainly been on a bullish run this year, just above a 30% gain so far. So a lot of activity in the banking sector, and certainly Standard Chartered has been a recipient of that, but not on the day. Looking at how the currency is faring against the dollar, 83.65 against the US dollar. Currency strength persists. Central bank action continuing to mop up liquidity in the market, continuing to provide that support for the local unit. And overall, you are seeing foreign investors buying back into government bonds, and that, of course, is why we're seeing support there for the local currency. We know there's a big auction coming up next week, and with yields trading at these attractive levels, they are expected to fetch strong demand from foreign investors. And that, of course, would be a bullish support for the local currency. Let's delve into the markets right now. William Odhiambo, managing consultant at Elim Consulting, is our market watcher joining us on the line. William, thanks for your time. So the market's pulling back once again today. So it's been a weak so far, if you could say that. But what are you taking from trades so far today? I mentioned the likes of agricultural stocks like Williams and T down, Standard Chartered also on the losing end. What did you read into markets activity today?
Well, thank you very much. It's an interesting market, so to speak. Majorly, the main good news in Kenya right now is the currency is doing well, and the backdrop of the correction in the market. But from the market, what we saw is more and more correction after the rally following the elections, the peaceful elections. So you see that the banking stocks are shedding off, and many others as we correct just before the announcement of the results anticipated.
You talk about the banking sector, and I mentioned Standard Chartered because that stock has come off its all-time high of 318 shillings, but trading at 300 shillings today certainly is seen to be on this bullish run. The latest news flow is that they've bought ABSA here in South Africa's custody business that, of course, is used in wholesale banking to strengthen core bank relationships with clients. They've also bought previously Barclays custody business, and overall, you're seeing a lot of activity from Standard Chartered to cement its African presence. What are your thoughts on the company right now?
Standard Chartered Bank is a strong company, and of course, like you said, it has a strong root in the market, especially on the higher end of the market. Concerning the custody business, I would not comment too much on the same until, of course, the deal is finalized. But given where Standard Chartered is right now, I do not think the market was responding to news in a strong way. I think it's just a matter of correction that is temporary as we await for the final results.
So what is your rating then of Standard Chartered being a bank that has emerging market presence and certainly an African strategy within that relative to other local bank options and other foreign, I suppose, banks like Barclays operating in Kenya?
Well, I'm not sure I heard you there, but indeed the Standard Chartered Bank is a strong bank both locally and internationally, and that makes it to have a strong brand, which is an asset when you're talking financially, and that will reflect in its strong positioning in the market.
Yep. Let's move on to the agricultural space because Q2 production figures coming out up 22%. And certainly if you look at the forecast for this year, 410 million kilograms is what is forecast, and that will be the highest amount in 10 years. So pretty much you're looking at decade high levels of production in the tea space. Is that going to filter through to higher earnings for tea companies?
It is. I expect it to. The first quarter in Kenya has been quite good in terms of the rains, and that would translate into better production or better output, as you put it. And of course, that will translate into good turnover and good profits, hopefully for the tea companies in Kenya, so that the likes of Williamson Tea Capture will register these figures into their final results for the quarter.
Would you be buying the stocks, though, because they're very volatile on a day-to-day basis? Certainly, you can see massive swings from one day to the next, and of course, smaller cap stocks tend to do that.
Well, that would depend on what my strategy is. At the moment, if my strategy was for speculative purposes, I believe the tea counters would be a good pick. But if it was something probably for keeps, I would be choosing in the sector which counters to go for.
Ebel has been an interesting one because it's almost the battle between locals and foreigners. Foreigners choosing to look at the long-term picture, and certainly on the buy side of that, that's what's being reported. Appreciating that the drop back in earnings recently is really around investing for growth further down the line. You've got locals, though, who said to put a price target around 200 shillings, far below where it's trading right now. So where do you stand on the fence with regards to that?
Well, just if I got you right, I think we're still talking about the tea counters.
On East African breweries, William? If I could just correct on there, on East African breweries, because as I was saying, locals certainly are looking to, see the stock as overvalued right now, and you've got foreigners sitting on the buy side appreciating the longer-term investment story here.
Yeah, many foreigners, when they come into the country, they are looking for the blue chips. Companies, and East African breweries is the biggest by asset. So they would be interested in such a big company. And of course, it has attracted a lot of interest from international players who might not be privy to the other counters. And so, but in the meantime, where we are standing as concerning East African breweries, if I were holding shares there, I would probably want to shed it off at this time. And wait